how the pain body is at. Okay, friends, good morning. Last session, we have been seeing how the pain body is actually reacting in this power of now, right? So we will see further like how this pain body affects and what is the ego body and what is the what do you say, how does the fear affects with this, right? So that we will see it, okay? Let me, so the pain body, we have seen there is a pain body always wants the more pain. That's what we have seen, right? So when there is actually, the example also I have given, when there is a menstrual cycle is happening, right? Particularly because already your body, with the hormonal changes and all the things, your body will undergo some pain. So that kind of time, because the pain body activates. When the pain body is activating, your mind is also looking for some more pain in the form of videos or in the form of news. You may be watching that kind of thing, right? You want to, if you don't stay alert. So when if you stay alert, oh, this is my time, period time. So I should not think about all the things. Many people say the suicidal thoughts and all the thoughts are also coming during that kind of period only, because your body needs more and more pain. Okay, so you need to stay alert, you need to stay in present so that you can watch what is you are feeling within, rather than
One second.
you can stay in the present. It therefore, because you could not give an opportunity to this pain body to occupy you. So so it is always necessary that you stay in present and understand like what it is actually is happening. It's an opportunity. Say that spiritual practice. So staying in the mindful is also a spiritual practice, right? So take this opportunity to stay in the spiritual practice and transmute your past pain and past pain into the present. There is a nothing. Past pain, how you can transmit? There is a nothing kind of thing, right? So that is not affecting. Suppose in the past some ex has said something to you. Imagine how does it is affecting at the present moment, or in the past some loved ones were passed away. See that how that it is actually affecting now, because you are going to that particular point in point, and then you are actually recreating that kind of memories, and you are evoking your pain body. Is it necessary for our life? It's not necessary, right? So you should always try to avoid that kind of situation. Ego identification with the pain body. So here, not only that pain body, ego also start identifying with this pain body. The process that described, right, powerfully in this process of how the ego is certain. You can take an example of it could be taught to a child. Like hopefully one day it will become the first things that the children has learned. So what is that? You have understood the basic principle, right? So you see that, did you understand the being present watcher? So did you understand? So when you are saying that, you are actually asking that student, did you understand at that present moment? Now, what is that? Is what happens inside you? What is that actually that he understood or he experienced in that present moment? Whatever you have explained is that understand. So similarly, did you understand that power of now, the potential of staying being now is a transformation tool? Did you understand now? Like you are asking a child, did you understand? Similarly, here, the Kotwal is asking us, did you understand the power of staying at the present? At present or at now is a potential. It's a big potent of our transformational tool. This is not to deny that you may encounter intense resistance, disidentifying from your pain. I know, because sometimes it is hard to disidentify from the pain. You want it to be there. It's very hard, particularly when there is particularly when you lived closely identified with your emotional body, right? Most of your life you are identified yourself with your emotional body, then it will be very hard to disidentify yourself with this pain body. The whole or the large part of your sense, you have invested in your emotions rather than anything. You invested on your emotions. So when you invested in emotions, unconsciously you became one with that emotion. So you unconsciously you became one with that pain body. So you when Ercot told, or when I say that you disidentify yourself from your emotions, you feel that you are fear of losing yourself. You feel you are losing yourself, right? That's where the pain will start. So the fear of losing your identity will create a strong resistance of disidentifying you. There is a lot of resistance will come into you. If this applies, so observe your resistance. If this is applying to you, when you are when I'm asking you to disidentify with your pain body, disidentify with your emotions, disidentify with your ego or anything, right? So are you feeling that you're losing yourself? Are you feeling very unhappy to lose yourself? So if this is identifying, observe where exactly you have attached yourself with this pain. What is happening? Very exactly. What is happening at this moment? What is happening to my body? What is happening to my abdomen? Where exactly this pain is? So be alert all the time. Be alert. Observe each and every moment. Observe. There is a peculiar pleasure that you are deriving. Definitely, you are deriving some kind of pleasure. So, because being unhappy, what is the pleasure that I'm deriving? You are deriving some kind of happiness being in that pain body. So, identifying yourself with that pain body, you are actually feeling, because there are people whom you always complain. Actually, in that moment, there won't be any problem in their life, but they always try to complain, because they try to find happiness in complaining. They try to find happiness saying that being unhappy, I'm not so happy, that kind of feelings, right? That is giving their happiness. That is giving them keep going. Similar kind of thing, is there anything in your life? Do you identify yourself with that pain? If that pain is giving, if you are actually thinking about that pain and all those things, is that is giving any pleasure to you? So that you try to identify. Observe that compulsion talk in your mind, right? Compulsion that you want to be in that pain, right? What is that compulsion talk that it is there? What is the resistance that you have to seize your consciousness? What is that? You have some resistance. What is that resistance? You can take your attention into pain body and stay present. Take out your attention from that pain body and stay in the present as a witness. As a witness, not in that pain body. As a witness, try to identify what is that pain is doing to your body. Try to identify that and initiate that transmutation. Try to transmutation, right? Identify, initiate the transmutation. When you are identifying, when you are actually seeing, suppose there is some story, some pain is going on to somebody else, then you will witness. You will not actually feel the pain. You will witness.
One minute, masters. I think there is some technical issue. I think the video today, Prasanna garu has sent the recordings. This is the first time I'm playing the recording. I think here the video is. Yeah. Let me just reshare it. 1 second. I stopped it because I think the screen is paused for you all. Let me know if you can hear and see the video, master.
Is that pain they are going through and how they are reacting, and then you are able to give your advice, isn't it? Similarly, here, when something is bothering you, when you are actually identifying yourself with that pain body, instead of identifying yourself with that emotion, come out of it, bring your consciousness out of it, and observe what that pain is doing to your body. So initiate that transmutation. Once you can initiate that you can transform yourself. Only you can do that, because no one else can do it. No hypnotist, no therapist can do that. They can only give you an advice, but they cannot do it. Only you can do it. Only you can do it. Nobody can do that for you. You are fortunate enough to find someone who intensely conscious, because there is someone is there within you. You have intensely conscious, and you can join with that consciousness, with your state of presence, with your being staying in the present, which is very, very helpful in accelerating the things in your life. You can grow your own light quickly, and you can grow that light very stronger. So when you grow this light stronger, you just started beginning of your transmutations. You can separate from yourself, because your consciousness from that pain. To be in such a pain is one of the to be such a fire, because you should have that kind of fire that I will not attach myself with my emotions. I will not attach myself with my ego. I will not attach myself with that pain. So you should have some kind of fire. Suppose if you want some kind of a luxury car or anything, you will have fire. You will work for it. You will work hard and you will get it, because you have that fire. So when you are putting your energy on something like that, you are able to get it. Similarly, when you got that fire within you, that I wanted to separate my consciousness from this, when that fire is there, you definitely will be able to do it. Okay? So that fire is one of the functions of the spiritual teacher. Also, spiritual teachers will ignite that kind of fire. Spiritual books like this are also igniting that fire within us. Some therapists may also fulfill this function. Some therapists who are very wise, they can also say, don't identify yourself with the mind, go beyond your mind. Go beyond the level of your mind. So you can create some intense consciousness which is working for you. That consciousness is working for you. You are unnecessarily you are identifying yourself with this pain. That is the ego and pain identification. Then ego pain will come when, what is the origin for the pain? It is the fear. Fear is the origin, right? So you mentioned fear is a part of our basic underlying emotional pain. How does a fear arise? Why is there is so much in it for the people's life? Isn't it certain amount of the fear is also healthy for self-protection? Suppose if I don't fear for the fire, then I may put my hand in the and it get burned. That's what people are asking for the record. And here, it is not the fear of fire. If you say, that's what he's going to tell you. If you put the hand in the fire will burn you. What is that? Is it a fear that out of fear you are not putting your hand there? It is not the fear, it is the knowledge that you have. That if you put the hand in that, then it will burn. That is the knowledge you have. Because of that knowledge, you are not actually putting. So that is not because of the fire. That's what he said. It's not because of the fear that you are not putting. You don't need to fear to avoid the danger. You need to have the minimum intelligence, minimum common sense, that if you put the hand, then you may get then that might get burned. That kind of knowledge or that kind of common sense is the one that you require. For all such a practical matters, it is very useful to apply the lessons that are learned in the past. This is a practical lesson. Once you put your hand on the fire and it got fired, so you can apply that lesson in the past, whatever it is. Suppose now it is that someone is threatening you with the fire, that physical violence, I will burn you, that kind of thing, right? Then you may feel fine. Then it comes, then the experience of the fear comes. Not when you are actually putting the hand. That's with the knowledge you are not putting. But here, when somebody is threatening you with the violence that they will burn you, then you will experience that fire. This is a danger, but not a psychological condition of the fear we are talking about here. It's not a psychological fear. It is a danger is coming up. That is why the fear is. It's a physical danger is coming up. Here, what we are talking is here in this power of now work. We are talking about the psychologically how you are attaching to your pain, psychologically how you are attaching to your ego, and psychologically how you are attaching to your fear. That kind of fear we are talking. It is not about the physical danger. The psychological condition of the fear is diverse from any concrete or a true immediate danger. It is not like the true immediate danger is different. It comes from many forms. What is that? Unease. You are not easy at the situation. Worry, anxiety, nervousness, tension, dread, phobia. All these things you will get that fear. Suppose some people will say, oh, I have got a phobia about the water. I don't go. Because it is only a small swimming pool, 5 feet swimming pool. Even if you jump on it, nothing will happen. You can simply walk and come back. There's no danger in it, but still people will feel fear. That kind of fear, that's a psychological fear, right? That kind of fear is the one that other is talking about. That's a phobia. That's a kind of an anxiety that the people have, right? So simply your mind has lost touch, because simply your mind is creating that because it lost touch with the power of now. It is not able to stay at the present moment. So that anxiety gap is there. In order to that anxiety gap became your constant companion. So when that anxiety became your constant companion, you can always, you are not in the present moment. But if you bring that your mind into the present moment, you can always cope up. Even if you go to that pool, nothing will happen. You can cope up and you can come out of it. But your mind is projecting some danger, some phobia it is projecting psychologically. Because of that, you are unable to go to that fear, and you will say that, oh, I have a fear of water. I cannot swim, or I cannot go, something kind of thing, right? That is what it is happening. You cannot cope up with the future. So you are actually, oh, future, something might happen. I may drown, this kind of thing. You are feeling that you may not able to cope up with the future, but which is not a true. You can simply cope up with the situation. You can simply cope up with the future, but you are unable to accept that situation. Moreover, as long as you identify with your mind, what is happening? You are identifying with your mind, then ego runs in your life. That ego will always run. Along with the ego, that fear will also run. Some defense mechanism will run. So the ego is very vulnerable and it makes you insecure. It makes you constantly threat. It under the threat because you are constantly under the threat. In this way, ego is outwardly very confident. It shows that, oh, I can do that. Outwardly, it shows confidence. But inwardly, it is this ego will create a fear. In turn, it will create the pain. Remember, your emotion in the body's reaction is coming from your mind. Suppose you saw a beautiful garden. Okay, when you saw with your eyes, when you are seeing a garden, then your mind is saying, oh, it's so many colorful. So with that mind saying that, you are feeling emotion, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm just enjoying it. So that kind of feeling is happening, right? So that's the one it is happening. Similarly, when you see a girl, let us take a teenage, when you go to the girl, by seeing the girl, your mind is saying she looks so beautiful. So your emotion is starting. Whatever the mind is saying, the emotion is getting started. Okay, this way, in this case, if the ego is outwardly, ego is outwardly confident, but it is creating a fear within it. And also, what message is the body receiving continuously from the ego? What is the message that it is creating? So it is a false image, the mind made self. Whatever that self that you are making, it was made by the mind. It is not actually yourself or what exactly you. It is whatever your mind made, right? That image only it is projecting you. So that image is always a dangerous image because it was made by the mind. It is not exactly the you. It is always under the threat. And what emotion is generated by the continuous message? What is the emotion that you are generating with the continuous day, with the false image, right? What is that emotion that you are actually generating? It is only generating a fear image. Fear only it is generating. Fear seems to be have many causes: fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being hurt. Ultimately, the fear of death, annihilation, fear of being staying alone. So each depends on the thing, right? Each one will have their own fears. It is a mind identified state. It is the suppose in the past somebody you lost somebody because of they got drowned in the water. So that will become the fear for you. So it is actually identifying with your mind and it is projecting some fear, some danger in the future. So it is actually getting fear. So argument and make the other person. So because of this fear, what is happening is you will get into this arguments. You wanted to win over the other. So you wanted to make the other person is wrong. When the argument comes, suppose if somebody says then, okay, it is suppose Lavanya said something. I said, okay, it's her opinion. That's okay. Each person, there are person to person, they are different, and it is her opinion. Okay, then you will not have any fear. Suppose if somebody says, no, when I'm saying the fear and all these things, if Emerson came and said, no, 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 it is not the fear, fear is also required. If he says that, right? So, which means that his mind, he is not ready to leave his mind, whatever that mind is saying, right? So, he wanted to live in that fear because the mind is saying that if you don't do this, this might happen. So because of that, he is keep going. It is making him keep going. Because of that, he always want to be living. Again, it is their opinion. The truth is that fear is only that mind-made state. It is not you. You are Satchit Anand. So Sachidanand. So you are actually the very peaceful, very happy being. So here Eckhart Tolle is trying to take us to that happy being. He is making us to go to that happy being. He wants us, our wrong side to die. Our mind perception of I, whatever that I am actually identifying, that should die. So the wrong side should die. Wars are also happening because of this, because identifying yourself with the things. There are countless number of relationships were broken because you identify with your mind, you are identifying with your ego. Because of that, so many wars happened, so many relations were broken. Once you start disidentifying from your mind, whether you are right or wrong, make no difference to you. No difference at all, because yourself is very happy. So whether right, okay, right, wrong, okay, I will learn. So there won't be any problem. That ego will not be there when you start disidentifying yourself with your mind. So forcefully compulsive. So it became forcibly compulsive for your deep unconscious. Because if you're conscious, this is not compulsive. Because you became unconscious, it became compulsive for for you to become to identify yourself with with these things. But there is a no aggressive, because if once you disidentify, there won't be any defensiveness, there won't be any aggressiveness in yourself. You will identify your pure consciousness, just watching everything. Watch out for any kind of defensiveness within yourself. Try staying in the power, in the now. Identify what for you are actually defending. What is that identifying? What is that illusionary that you are identifying? What is that illusionary you are identifying yourself with your mind? What is the truth and what is the wrong? So when you started identifying yourself, by the end of all arguments or the power games, so whatever the broken relationships, because when you are with these arguments and the power games, the relationships will get broke. So power over all these power over these weaknesses, right? You are identifying that as a strength. You are actually, this is a weakness that I want to win over the argument. And when you win, you are feeling that as a strength. That is actually the weakness. You want to win the argument is a weakness, and when you win that, you are feeling that is a power, right? You are actually feeling the weakness as a strength, but that is not your strength. True power is within you, and it is available now. The moment you leave your mind, you identifying with your mind, the power is there, right at this present moment. So anyone identified their mind, therefore disconnected. So if you are identifying with your mind, you are disconnected with your true power. The true power is rooted inside. That's a being. You are that being, a constant companion. You are there. Mind is creating the fear, ego, pain, which is all false identification. This is extremely very small, but you are catching that small thing, and we are actually living in that small fear thing, with the fear, with the anxiety, dread, as if it is the end of the thing, right? We're living with that thing. The ego search for wholeness. What is that ego? Ego is searching, because ego thing is always think, identify, be in that conscious unconsciousness, right? Another aspect of emotional pain is that intrinsic part of egoic mind is deep seated in our mind, deep seated, some incompleteness, some lackness. There is some lack of the thing, because when this ego and the thing comes, you are lack of something, right? You are incomplete of something, you are not being a whole. Okay, so that one, right? If you identify that, you identify that is not the consciousness, that is an unconsciousness. You unconsciously, you are feeling some lackness. When you go to the consciousness, you are just the whole in the sense, not the whole, the WHOL whole. You are the whole, you are worthy, you are a consciousness, you are without all these things also, you are good enough. That kind of feeling, intense feeling, you will be getting it. Unconsciously, you are indirectly, you are craving for all these unwanted things or unwanted need and thinking, right? In that, you are in that loop. There actually HOL hole is there. It is a bottomless. The ego is a bottomless hole. It is always filling up. It will never satisfy. The one thing comes, the ego mind wants one more. So it is already always, it will make you in a trouble. As long as the ego mind is running in your life, you cannot be truly at ease. You cannot be truly at happiness. One thing come to you, worked for it, one thing came, your ego mind wants something else. It cannot be peace. It cannot feel fulfilled. It cannot be. At the intervals of the time, the craving will increase. The craving will change the external things. It always wants the different things constantly. Be your positions, be with your social status, be with your recognition, be with your education, or be with your physical appearance, or your special abilities, or relationships, or your family, or your belief systems, or political, non-political, nationalistic, racial, religious, and collective identification. See, all these things we identify. We identify, we are the Indians. We identify, we belong to this family. We identify, I believe in this. So these are all the things which is identifying by your mind. You are not any of these things. So is it frightening? Because I'm saying that you are not your family, you are not your politically what you are not the relationship wise what you are not whatever the education that you are doing, you are not what exactly the job that you are not the physical appearance. So then what am I? So you're not any of these things. Then what am I? Are you really get frightened? So if you cross all these things, then you will identify yourself with that consciousness. So when you leave all these things, it is kind of death. Die. Learn to die before you die. Learn to die before you die, which means learn to strip off all these mental ailments or mental identification or ego identification with your mind, right? Once you strip off all these things, that's the secret of the life. Die before you die and find that there is no death. There's no death at all. That's what we need to find out. That's end of our chapter 2. Because we still have some more time. Let's see what the introduction of what Eckhart Tolle is trying to tell us in the chapter 3. In the chapter 3, he is moving deeply into now. The entire book is the power of now, right? So he is trying to deeply, some more questions, the question and answer pattern, right? He is trying to tell you, moving deeply into now. Don't seek yourself in the mind. Don't seek yourself in the mind. Don't try to identify yourself in the mind. Right now, only we told you are not that, you are not this, right? I feel that there is still great deal I need to learn about workings of my mind before I can go anyway to see that full consciousness or a spiritual enlightenment. You may say that after listening all these things, I think I need to understand my mind first so that I can go to the enlightenment. The thing is, which never happened. If you try to identify or if you try to understand your mind, that is an infinite loop. No, you don't have to understand your mind. The problems of the mind cannot be solved by mind, because all these problems came with the mind, right? So these problems cannot be solved at the level of the mind. Once we have to understand the dysfunction. We are thinking that this is all functioning together. Our mind and me are all working together. But we have to understand the basic dysfunction of mind and us. Then there's nothing to understand. Once you understand there is a dysfunction, right? You are different from your mind function, then it's not much that you need to learn or not to understand. Studying the complexity of the mind, what will happen when you are trying to study the complexity of the mind? You will become a psychologist. But you will not go beyond mind. You are actually trying to analyze, if this mind working this way, what is that person will behave? If this way, what will happen? So this is the complexities of the mind. Just the study of the madness isn't enough for the to create the sanity. Study of the mind will not help you. You already understand the basic mechanisms of your unconscious mind. You're all unconscious. You're identifying yourself with this false ego, false fear, false pain. So you become that branch cut off from the vein, right? So you need to put that branch cut off from the vein. Then only you can see the ego needs endless. Ego needs are endless. You cannot say that ego will satisfy somewhere. It feels vulnerable and it feels threatened if there is no want. There is no want. Nothing I want. I was satisfied with my life. Then you feel threatened. What is that? Life became so, stable. You cannot say stable. All of a sudden, I feel like life became hard kind of thing, right? So I need to do something. That is the kind of the mind thing. That is the kind of unconsciousness we are living in. It feels threatened if you are in that state. So the mind always wants that need, that kind of thing. So once the basic dysfunction operates, right, what will happen? Your pure consciousness doesn't need anything. It says that I'm so happy. I'm so happy. It's a complex problem. Once you disidentify yourself, the ego, of course, loves that. Ego always loves that. It always seeks something to attach. I want to attach to this relationship. I want, this is my family, this is my son, my daughter, no, this is my, so it always wants to attach, the ego always wants to attach something. It always wants to seek something. So that will strengthen, so that will give the strengthen of it. It is readily attach itself to the problems. It is connecting itself to the problems. So once this happened, last thing that it become is, last thing they want is it become free of them. So you wanted to become free of this pain and suffering. Once you identify this unconscious ego, then because there is a great deal that you have already invested so much in this unconscious ego. So how to come out of it is only the problem solution is staying the power of. Once you recognize the root of unconsciousness, once you identify the mind is with this unconsciousness, with these emotions, with this pain, once you identify it, it is easy to step out. If you don't identify that you are with certain things, then it is hard to identify it. Once you identify that where you are, then you know where to go, right? So where you don't know where you are, then you don't know the way how to go or where to go, right? So now you identify yourself where actually how you unconsciously was stringing to your mind. Then you will become, then you can bring your mind and you can bring yourself to the present moment, leaving that mind. When you are in that present, you can allow your mind without getting entangled to it. Now you can use that mind as a tool. Don't entangle with that mind, but you can use that mind as a tool. And the mind itself is not dysfunctional. It is not now the dysfunctional. It is actually, it is a wonderful tool. Now you feel that, oh, wow, mind can do this many things. Okay. Then it becomes, dysfunction sets you seek yourself in the mistake who you are. It becomes egoic mind and takes over the whole life. So once if you are not dysfunctioning, you are again sitting back and you feel that mind is you the whole life. So here is giving you one more way how to stop your going the mind to the going back to the mind. What is saying is a time. There is no time at all. You make the delusion. You stop the delusion. End the delusion of the time. So if the time that suppose if that plant or animal, if you ask what is time, they don't know the time. They're just living in the present. They go by instinct. Similarly here also, stop your time. It seems it's impossible to stop, or it is impossible to disidentify yourself with the time because we are so much immersed in it. You will say that if you want to disidentify the time, it is like teaching the fish to fly. The fish can only swim in the water, but you are teaching fish to fly. That kind of hardness, if I say that, disidentify the time. But that is the key. End of the delusion of the time. Once the time and mind, because time and mind became so inseparable, remove that time from the mind, then the mind stops. Remove the time from the mind unless you want to choose to do it, right? Otherwise, just you are identified in the trap of the time. Yesterday this happened, day before yesterday's happened. Because of that, tomorrow might happen. So in that trap, we are all in. The compulsion to live in the past, the compulsion to live in the memories, the compulsion to anticipate the future. This is creating endless preoccupation from the past to the future. it is unwilling, it is having so much unwillingness to honor the present moment. It is not allowing you to live in the present moment. Because of that, this compulsion is arising because the past gives you an identity, and future holds the promise kind of thing. Past is some identification you are holding with the past, and future you are promising or some fulfillment that I can have, it can happen in the future. So we are in that kind of illusion. We are in that kind of illusion word that future will be the will do good. But without a sense of time, the question is asked to Eckhart Tolle. Without sense of time, like us, right? Like you and me, people are asking, without a sense of time, how would we function in this world? Without past or without future, how would you function? There would be no goals to strive toward anymore. I would not even know who I am because my past makes me who I am today. I think time is something very precious. We need to learn to use it wisely rather than waste it. That is what you and me will say, right? So how do we say that? Because of the past mistakes I have done, I am here. Because of the past learnings that I have done, because that's why I'm here. How do you say that there's no past? Time is not precious at all here. It is just the illusion. You may learn something, take that lesson, but why do you go back to the past? When you perceive the time, precious is not the time, precious is now. Precious is not the past or the future. Precious is now. Live in this present moment is indeed the precious. It is not the past or it is not the future. Firstly, staying in the now, the eternal now is the now is not going anywhere. So live in the eternal present space within your whole life is unfolding. Your life is unfolding at the present moment. It is not unfolding in the past or a future, right? It is every moment, that moment the life is unfolding. So that is the powerful thing. Life is now. It must never be your past or it never be in the future. Life is only in the present moment. So secondly, now is the only point you can touch. You cannot touch past or you cannot touch the future. You can only touch now at this moment. You can only go, you can only touch the present moment. You cannot go beyond your, beyond, only that it is going past or present, your mind is going, you are not going. Okay, you are only like you can only live, or your real being can only live in this present moment only. Nothing exists outside now. Only everything is existing now only. Nothing is existing outside. Aren't the past and future are just real? Sometimes even more real than present. After all, the past determines who we are as well as how we perceive, how we behave in the present. And our future goals determine what actions we take in the present moment. That's what the question like you and me are asking. Like, so the past, whatever that I did it, that's how I'm here, right? You haven't yet grasped. So if you're asking this question, you haven't yet grasped the essence here. What I am saying is, you are trying to understand mentally. Again, you are going with your mind. Because of that, I am here now. Because of mentally, you are going there and you are trying to learn it, right? But just stay here, stay in the present moment, learn. Have you ever experienced or done or felt anything outside now? Anything? Do you have you experienced that future? Something is happening, right? That experience, did you get it now? Or the past something happened, that experience, does it get it now? No. Only present, a friend of you came and he met you and you are experiencing the happiness. That is happening at the present moment. Something happened and you are feeling pain, that is happening in the present moment. Only everything is happening in this moment. Nothing ever happened in the past. Whatever that has happened, that is happened, that time also, when the moment happened, that happened in the now. Now it became past, but it happened in the now only, because it happened at that moment only. Nothing is happening in the future. We are all, only your mind is going and imagining. Nothing is happening in the future. What do you think of the past in the memory trace? Past is only the trace of memory which is already stored in your mind. It's a farmer now. It is now that time. If you remember in the past, you are actually reactivating your memory trace. Whatever the trace of memory that you lived in past now, you are bringing that. You are actually taking that. You are tracing those memories. The future comes is only the imaginary preview. It is a projection of your mind. It is not yet experienced. When the future comes, when that day comes, it will become now. That day comes, it will become that present moment. When you think about the future, you did it now. Thinking something about the future, you did it now. Past and future are obviously, there's no reality of its own. You just borrowed, your mind went and borrowed something. That's all. It doesn't have anything. Now, the essence is what we are saying is here you cannot understand by mind. This power of now or staying in the now, you cannot understand by your mind. You have to experience through, you have to grasp it, you have to go to that consciousness. You need to shift your consciousness of which is identified by your mind to being. You should be being, you should go in that moment, you should be in that present moment. Then you feel everything will be alive. It is radiant energy. It emanates the being. It's so much it radiates the energy. That is what the power of now. So what is this now to the spiritual dimension? We will see in the next session. I'll stop here and open for the questions. Okay, friends, now time for questions.
Prasanna is here to take the questions.
Hello, I'm here.
Thank you, Prasanna garu, for joining. If you have any questions, masters, please, you can post the question.
You see me different. I came to attend my classmate's daughter's Arangetram in a different city. That's why I recorded.
Okay, Prasanna garu. Thank you. Thank you for recording.
Any questions? Yeah, you and I joined. Any questions about you talk until next week? Okay, I got the logic of disassociating yourself with the time and live in the present moment. Now, are there any practical experiences how we are living in the materialistic work running around the time? Can try the feeling of disassociating with the time, even for the short period of the time, how that will be inspect your regular lives. See, I'll just give you an example. Today, I'm supposed to be here by 3:30. Okay. As you see me in the session also, I was not coughing a lot and I could not get up until 10 o'clock. It became delayed and I have to drive myself in the new city for all the way 1 hour. So if I am associating with my time, because the program starts at 3:30, so what is that our feeling? We are actually feeling so much anxiety because we just want to go there on time. But remember, anyway, it got delayed, whatever the reasons. So when it got delayed, can I do anything by speeding my car or by doing anything? So it may harm more. So what it will happen if I am not reaching there by 3:30? That's the question. I just kept it myself. What will happen? At the max, the social hour, that will happen that all my classmates will be charting. That hour I may be missing. So maybe, so what? So what? So if I'm speeding or if I'm something happened, that is more of it, right? So the moment I stopped that kind of thing, that anxiety, what I started is, so I'm just, because I just teaching the power of now, let me stay in the present moment, what will happen? Because it is a completely new city and there is a lot of mountains and besides my road, there is 30, 40, 50 feet trees are there. I started noticing everything. When I started noticing everything, the bliss or the happiness that I am staying in that present moment started evolving. I forget about when I will reach or anything. GPS is showing I'm just following the road, right? While following the road, I started being in that present moment. I started enjoying that moment. Okay, anyway, I reached here by 4 o'clock, and all more or less my friends, few of my friends are waiting, and few of my friends are just arrived that time also. So nothing, basically, I missed it. But still, you feel that I flew all the way from Texas to here and I could not attend. That kind of tension, if I'm speeding up or if I'm feeling unhappy, what is happening is I'm associating with the time that I have to go there in time, or that anxiety. It is actually killing the present moment. If you notice, not only here, every time if you notice that, we are actually killing every moment and looking for future. Or maybe getting the memories from the past. That is what is happening. So try to be in that moment. Really, we will not lose anything. We will be gaining more. That's my experience from this. That's what, even if you are actually that few moments that I disassociate, right? I feel so happy. So that is what the life is happening. It is not happening in the past, or it is not happening in the future. Do you agree? Does it make sense?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
There's one more question.
Yeah, one more question from
Being in
Chandan.
present.
Yeah. Being in present,
does that mean we should not?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
We
Go
should
ahead.
not plan anything for the future. Say, for example, if you are aspiring something and I have to plan things, achieve the goal, does that mean we should not? No. This is again the confusion. So, if you are aspiring something and you want to achieve something, right? You need to plan what you are supposed to plan at this moment. Suppose, let us take as a student, one student want to become a doctor. Let us take doctor, because when that moment comes, I will study medicine. It will not happen, right? To go to that medicine, like after 5 years, what I am supposed to do at this moment. So live in this moment, present moment, and what you're supposed to do in this moment, you have to do it. Do not dream about what will happen after 5 years. Do not think about, if I don't get the seat, what will happen? If I get what, don't think. What you're supposed to do at this point in time. That we have to do it all the time. Because in order to reach a goal, do not go in the past, but you have to do certain steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 steps. That one step you have to do now, and 2 step you may have to do tomorrow's now, or some time now only you have to do it. So what is that you have to do now, that you have to concentrate. You plan for it, but the action is only in the now. Am I clear? Because suppose I am remembering an example. In kindergarten, the teacher asked my son, what is that you wanted to become? Okay, he wrote something. So then the next assignment, she asked him to break down. In order to go reach there, what are the things? He just break down into the 4. The first part she asked to break down further. Then she asked to break down further and said what you are supposed to achieve in this particular year. Okay, in the same way, we need to think of what we should do or how we can achieve things that to reach the goal. What is that action that I need to do today? Only that you have to focus. Is it clear?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I think Chandana is fine. From we have
I'm
got
curious about the point the author makes here. Those issues, your mind cannot be resolved with the mind. So does that mean that we need to seek external help? No, we need to go beyond the mind. You need to go beyond the mind. So mind, if you start thinking about the mind, right, you will not able to think, means because again you are using the tool of mind only, right? If you start going, what will happen in the meditation? Tell me. What is happening in the meditation? You are getting bliss. All of you agree or not? What is happening? Do you remember the time? Do you remembering any goal in that moment? No, right? You are actually able to grasp that happiness because you are that happy being. Whether you want to become a doctor, whether you become a doctor or not, whether you become an architect or not, whatever it is, you are a happy being. Only thing is we are associating with all these external things. That is why we are not able to feel happy. That's the problem. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, friends? Yeah, I think these are the questions, Prasanna garu. Yeah.
Thank you. Beyond your mind, meaning more
More.
meditation. Beyond your mind is more meditation. But at one point, what will happen is all the time you will not be able to close your eyes and sit in the meditation, right? That is not going to work. Awareness, mindfulness, that is what we have to do. The more meditation, what you need to achieve, ultimate goal is the more awareness or more mindfulness, living in the present moment. That makes you, because you are not actually calculate going past or a future, right? In that way, you can live in that present moment and you can achieve whatever the things. Is it clear?
Yeah. Yes.
There is understanding of mind, right? Suppose if you want to really understand mind, you will try to, those who are actually interested, right? There is a series. I may not able to repeat all the things. Lavanya, I'll give you that series. Those who are interested, they can follow that series because it took me like almost 35 sessions or so to complete that book.
Okay.
So I'll give you that series.
Sure, Prasanna garu. Okay.
Thank you, MS. Because when I give a word, yeah, this is how I work, because we need to, because what I do is, the other day you asked, right, MS, how you teach the spirituality to the kids. This is how my way of teaching. When I committed something, do or die, do something. Try to do. 100% do your justice to your word. Because when you try to do it, your kids will automatically learn that and they will follow that. Because you need to show, we need to show ourselves as an example to our kids. In that way, they will learn. That's what I feel.
Yes. Yeah, everyone are getting inspiration from you, Prasanna garu. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prasanna garu, for your commitment. Yeah, thank you so much. Hope you enjoy your party
Thank you,
or
Lavanya.
gathering. Yeah.
Yeah. Aranget, I'm enjoying. The kid is performing well. I'll go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all. See you next week.
See you next week, Masters. Thank you, Prasanna garu.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Masters. Thank you for joining today. See you all next week. Thank you.